Trendline doesn't work. Trendline is a weak form of trading concept or strategy. This is the assumption of some trader in the financial market. Well, the issue might be you have been using Trendline the wrong way. But wait, before you make that final decision to trade with Trendline or to stop trading with Trendline, please, I want you to exercise patience to watch this video from the beginning to the end, because in this tutorial guide on how to trade Trendline trading strategy, I explain the important factors you need to consider as a trader who wants to trade the Trendline trading strategy, right? So after watching this video, then you can make your final decision. Maybe Trendline is a weak system or it's a good system, or maybe you are the one who is actually using it the wrong way, right? So after this video, you know the right thing to do. Like, share, put a comment down. You can also suggest any topic you would want us to treat in the next tutorial, right? Now, let's get into the Trendline trading strategy tutorial guide right now. So if I would like to define a trend, I will just say trend is the movement of price within a time, or trend is the movement of price at a specific direction within a period. So that period is the time. That direction, is it going up, going down, or sideways? Or is it confused, choppy? For us to be able to trade Trendline the right way, we know we have direction, duration, under this direction we have bullish, bearish, sideways, choppy market. Under this duration we have major, intermediate, minor, internal swings. We are still going to discuss this, but for now we have done up trend market, downtrend market, sideways market. Now, for us to be able to understand Trendline, we need to understand what the trend is all about itself. Trend is the movement of price at a specific direction within a period. That period is the duration, or in reference to time. If the market is going up, it may take you 5 minutes, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. Just like when you switch on your car, when you put on the ignition and you drive all the way here, it takes you some time period. Maybe for you to drive from your house to here, it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour. That is the duration. That is the time interval. Now, when you are coming from your home, maybe you go straight, then you branch right. After you branch right, you go straight again, you go left. So that is the direction you follow. So that is just like trend. Now, when we say line, for us who went through, for most of us who are mathematicians, what is a line? By the time you understand what a line is all about, you know the reason why I don't treat 2 points as a trend line. If you can understand what a line is all about, you will know the reason why I don't take 2 touches as a trend line. Because if you go to your price chart, it is easy for you to look out for 2 points and connect them together easily. In fact, you can connect thousands of 2 points together on your chart, and they may not give you a trend line. And that is why you see most time when people trade or when they use trend line, or some people have come to the assumption that trend line doesn't work. It works, but they don't understand it well. Now, based on mathematical definition of a line is the shortest distance between 2 points. This is a point 1. This is a point 2. The distance between 2 points, that is a line. So if you are saying a trend line You connect 1 and 2. You are not trading a trend line. You are trading ordinary line. Now, what makes a trend line? For a line to be regarded or to transform into a trend line, it must give you 3 successive 3 points. Then that makes it a trend line. So if you go to your chart, if you connect this place to this place, it's a line, not a trend line. You can connect this place to this place, it's a line, not a trend line. It is easier for you to connect 2 points on your chart as a line, but it takes 3 touches, minimum of 3 touches to connect a trend line. So whenever you see 2 points, it's a line, not a trend line. Because if you tell me 2 points is a trend line, then this is a trend line now. This is a trend line now. No, it's not a trend line. It's just ordinary line. So like your contribution, you said structure. Now, this is not a trend line. This is just a dynamic structure. Dynamic structure. Dynamic upper structure. Dynamic lower structure. So this is a line. So we need to understand the differences between a line and a trend line. Now, when your line has the third test, then it's now a trend line. But if it has only 2 points, it's a line. Based on mathematical definition, a line is the shortest distance between 2 points. So now, for you to trade trend line, the safest way is for you to look out for what? Fourth. That is the safest way to trade it. Because if you try to take the third test, that is aggressive entry. And remember what I told you, 2 points is a line. So if you are trying to trade this third line, you are trying to predict or to make decision for the market. You don't make decision for the market. You let the market show you the action or the patterns or the clue before you pull the trigger. Because the market can come here and go down. In fact, the fourth test of a trend line can still fail. If the fourth test of a trend line can still fail, then why do you want to trade the third line? Even the third line hasn't given you definition, only when it rebounds up. And then if you are trading trend line, you need to understand that trend line is more than just test and test and test. Remember what I told you, based on line definition, the distance between 2 points. Now, based on the distance, you need to understand the strength of that distance. Because there's something we call clustering of price. Clustering. When something is clustering, it means, let's say for example, we have a line like this. And we have tests like this. Price kept testing this trend line within short intervals. When price keeps on testing a line within short interval, it is showing you technically that that line is a weak line or a weak trend line. If a trend line is a strong trend line, once price tests it, there should be full force to reject it. And before it comes back to test that trend line, there must be an equidistance or a longer distance. And when you have a longer distance, the better it is. This is a trend line, and this is another trend line. Now, you have this trend line like this, and you have this like this, and you have this like this. Now you have this like this, and you have this like this, and you have this like this. What is the difference here? Let's say between here and here, it takes us 3 days. Within here and here, it takes us 2 days. Within here and here, it takes us 1 day. It means as price is testing this level, we have reduction in distance. And for us to have reduction in distance, it's showing you the trend line is becoming weaker. But here we have 3 days. Here we have 5 days. Here we have 7 days. It is showing you there is strength in this trend line. But most traders, they don't understand this concept. what they are just interested in. Once it tests a line, shoo. And another thing you need to understand when it comes to trend line is when you are trading a trend line, there should be an increment in the impulsive move of that trend line. When a trend line is going up like this, and we are not seeing higher high, higher high. Instead, we are seeing low high, low high. Likewise in the downside. So don't worry. Let's just stop here so that you won't get lost. Okay? All right? Do you have a question? Don't worry. I've always come in this topic. Ask a question, sir. Okay. For you to look out for a trend line, the easiest way is to look out for a trending market. The trend line itself has given you what you should look out for. Trend line. It means you are looking out for something which is trending. Now, when you are looking out to construct a trend line and you are not going to a shopping market or sideways market, it means you don't even understand what you are doing. Because the name tells you that trend, a market that is trending. Then put a line under. That is the breakdown of the meaning of trend line. A market that is trending. Then put a line under or line above. So if you want to construct your trend line in this market, is this market trending? Although it is trending. It is trending. But if you connect here and here, it's a line. If you take this level and goes up, now you have a trend line. And you start looking out for the fourth. If you are making the third entry, that's aggressive entry. The probability is low. And if you are taking aggressive entry, you implement your risk management factor, money management factor. You reduce your risk because you are taking aggressive entry. But when you have multiple confirmations, then that is when you what? You get in with your initial position. All right? So in a market whereby it is difficult for you to construct a trend line, it means that market is not respecting trend line. Without even struggling at all, when you open a chart and you take your trend line, it should be easier for you. And another way for you to construct a trend line, although it is not universally accepted, but it's from the professional view. If you want to trade with trend line, make sure you understand everything that has to do with trend line, or else you will lose your money. But it works. But if you don't understand it, just stay out of it. I personally, I don't even, let me just say, out of my decision, let me just say 5%, 10% is trend line. And I still trade and I make money. So that doesn't mean without trend line you can't make money. I can't remember the last time I used Fibonacci. But I know what I'm looking out for in the market without using Fibonacci. All right? So there are alternatives. But the best thing is understand, don't cram. When you understand, most of these tools, you don't even need it. You will do it manually yourself. Now, let's say, for instance, we have a high here, higher low, another higher low here, another higher low here, and another higher low here. Most of the time, when you want to construct your trend line, most traders, if you want to construct your trend line, let me ask you a question. Where would you start? Let's say this is point 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to construct your trend line, where would you start your trend line? Left to the right. Professionally speaking, that is not the best way to construct your trend line. Because if you construct your trend line from the first part, it means you mitigate or you ignore the current price action. Price is going forward, it's not going back. If you open your chart, these are past actions. If this is January, price is moving forward to February, to December, to the next year, to the next 10 years. Price is not moving back. So if you are connecting your trend line from the back, it means you say previous action is more important than the current market price action, which is professionally wrong. You connect your trend line from the current swing all the way to the past actions. When you do this, this helps you to focus on the most recent highs or lows, and you ignore the past level because the current level is more sophisticated or more powerful, although you can use the previous to forecast the future. But in terms of trend line, you focus on the current and you draw it backward. Because most time, when you connect your trend line from the back, from the left, you focus only on the past and ignore the current. And current now is what majority of traders are seeing. Only those who want to make long-term goals will come back. And based on the rules of trend line, you have to stick to current zones to define your trend line. Although if you do it from the left, nothing wrong, but professionally speaking, I would rather do mine from the right and fire it to the left. If you ask your question, sir. Twinkle the chart, yes. 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 Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I said based on advanced view, advanced experiences, I'll do mine from the front. From the front. But when you are connecting your key level concept is slightly different from trend line. Your key level should be from the left. So don't mix it up. That's why I said our guy who said structures. When you say structures, is it dynamic structure or horizontal structures? Your key level has to be from the left. Your trend line is better to be from the right. Some traders will condemn this, but those who understand the importance of current actions will understand the reason why it is better to start. And those who have suffered in trend line, they will understand what I'm saying. Do you have a question? So let's continue. By now, I believe you cannot identify the mistakes you make while trading with the trendline trading strategy, right? Now you know the do's and don'ts, right? We are not yet done on the trendline trading strategy. So by now you can start making refinements to your conclusion. Oh, trendline is good. Trendline is still maybe good or not. Don't worry, we still have part 2 to this tutorial guide on how to use trendline trading strategy. So in the part 2 of this tutorial guide of trendline, we dived more deeper into the factors, more factors you have to consider before you trade with the trendline trading strategy, right? Which I know you would never want to miss the part 2 of this tutorial guide on trendline. So this is what you need to do to watch the part 2 of this guide. Like, share, put a comment down. Comment part 2. Already I have the part 2 on my profile right here, so do me a favor to follow this profile, share this video to help other struggling traders who might be in need of this valuable information on trendline trading strategy guide. If you would like to see more tutorial guides of this kind on your screen, follow this profile. You can as well visit the link in my bio. To join my free trading Telegram group is where I share trading signals in the forex, crypto, stocks, commodity, and index market. You can as well subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? Now, let's dive into the part 2 of the trendline trading strategy tutorial guide.